Have you ever wanted to improve your tone quality on the trumpet? Or if you're a band director, have you ever wanted to find a way to improve the tone quality of your trumpet players? In this video, I'm going to talk about the Shaky-Shake technique, which has proven to be one of the most effective ways of helping students produce a full, brilliant tone quality in the most efficient manner possible. Welcome back to another episode in a treasure trove of tried and true trumpet tips. Have you ever heard trumpet sounds like this? Yeah, not so good, right? But unfortunately, that is super common among trumpet players, especially younger students. Generally, that kind of a sound results when students are playing high on the pitch. They're playing overly tight and squeezed, which means they're working harder for lesser result. Not a very good recipe for success. One really good strategy for improving this is to do what I call the Shaky-Shake exercise. What we basically do is a really wide and gross, overly exaggerated hand vibrato. Put your thumb and index finger on opposite sides of your lead pipe and you shake back and forth in a front to back motion. Not up and down, but front to back, okay? While holding out a note. So it goes something like this. For most students who are playing overly tight and squeezed, they have a hard time getting that really wide vibrato. They might sound like this. That's not so good. If you practice this a little bit more, you'll reach the more desirable, really gross and wide vibrato like this again. Try it on the next note up. You're shaking back and forth in a front to back motion. And then E. And so on. Now when we do this vibrato, we're basically oscillating between a brilliant sound and a dull sound. Brilliant, dull, brilliant, dull, brilliant, dull. Up here at these peaks, this is where the tone is very brilliant and open, kind of like a wah, a little bit of an obnoxious duck-like sound. And down here are the more dull sounds. Ooh. Now some people might mistakenly think that these dull sounds down here are darker and maybe prettier, but it sounds like this. Now, if you think about what that sound is and describe it, you might say dull, you might say thin, you might say pinched, etc. Now, if you think about these peak sounds, I call them brilliant. But what do you think? What if I do this hand vibrato and then I stop in that more brilliant tone quality? Usually when I ask students to describe that sound, they'll say things like full, they'll say maybe broad, they might say loud, but it doesn't have to be loud. You can do the same exact thing at soft dynamics as well. Basically what we're doing here is we want to strive to make these tones our tone all the time. And these dull, pinched, thin sounds, this is what we want to minimize in our playing. Now what you want to do is do that hand vibrato for a few seconds and then stop the tone and sustain in the brilliant tone quality. If you do it wrong, it sounds like this. If you do it right, it sounds like this. Another thing you can do is try this at soft dynamic levels. Now, if I do this shaky-shake exercise more slowly, you'll be able to hear much more clearly the difference between the two tone qualities. And we generally find that the more open, full, brilliant tone quality actually happens at the slightly lower pitch level. When we're higher on the pitch, that's when we get that thin, dull sound. It's when we're slightly lower on the pitch that the tone opens up for us. So it's a good idea to do this shaky-shake exercise as part of your warm-up. And you want to do it on every note of a C major scale. You start with the shaking for about a second or two, and then you straighten the tone out in the brilliant part of the tone quality and sustain that as long as you can until you're out of air. You want to give your lips and your ear enough time to get used to that feeling and that sound of playing in the center of the pitch and in the brilliant part of the tone quality. And then play a really simple lyrical etude, maybe something from the Conconi book, or maybe one of the Art of Phrasing exercises from the back of the Arbin book, but something slow and lyrical so that you can focus on creating that brilliant tone quality on every single note that you play. A real simple example of this would be in the Chickowitz flow studies. Just focus on always creating that tone quality. And when you're first working on this exercise, do it loudly so that you can really hear the brilliance in the sound and really feel that added level of relaxation and efficiency in your chops. Then, once you get used to doing that, start working on it at a softer dynamic. Now remember, if you do this wrong, that's wrong. Now this is correct. It's really important to do this exercise on a daily basis so that you continue to reinforce the muscle memory. Notice what it feels like and also what it sounds like to play with a brilliant sound. After a while, you'll get so hooked on it that you won't want to go back to any other sound. Any other tight, pinched, or less full sound will bother your ears and will also feel overly stressful. You'll find yourself getting tired too quickly if you're not playing in the center of the pitch like this. I hope you enjoyed that. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more trumpet content. See you next time.